Today's video about blood group inheritance. Please mind that I am not a medical professional and I represent my own opinion. In science, I'm a professional scientist, and science not always clear about some information related to blood type. We know that there are four types of blood: A, B, AB, and O. And also there is rhesus positive or rhesus negative blood. Like other traits, our blood type is inherited from our parents. We have to mind that A and B genes are dominant. And rhesus positive also corresponds to some gene which is marking some protein, producing protein, and this gene also dominant. So if let's say one parent have a combination of two O genes and have blood type O, it means no marking proteins, no marking proteins. O it means pure blood, no special this proteins is produced, and no genes of type A or B. Then if such parent have O blood type and other parent have A blood type with two A genes, then the child will have A blood type with combination A and O. Or also if another parent have B blood with two B genes, then the child will have blood B and combination of B and O. And type, so we will look at this table. We will see that next generation, let's say father has combination of A and O genes. O means no gene actually, yeah. But father has one gene A and mother have one gene O or B, and in absence of this gene in other chromosome. So and then the child have probability 25% to get combination of A and B, so both genes will be present, and then blood type will be AB, and blood type will be type B in combination of OB and O recessive, a B dominant, so it is B. And then 25% the blood type will be A in combination of OA and A dominant, and 25% a combination of OO, so it means pure blood, no these genes that are responsible for production of some proteins. So as we see at this table, red blood cells have proteins at the surface of the cells, and group A have one type of protein and gene which is responsible for production of these proteins. Type B has another protein and another gene which is producing these marking proteins. And group AB, it is just combination of both genes, and then two proteins are produced, and two proteins are marking the surface of the red blood cells. And group O means clean blood, and there is no marking protein. Surface of the erythrocytes has no markers at the surface. What we have to mind also how this person can react to transfusion of blood from another person. So if a person with blood type A get blood from person type B, then immune system will react and will fight against this another foreign protein. So if person has A blood, then protein type B will be considered by immune system as foreign protein, and then immune system will react, will attack these red blood cells, and vice versa. And also if it is person type blood B and gets blood from person type A, then immune system will attack this blood A. Yeah. But if a person has blood type AB, so both marking proteins are present, then this person can get blood from person A and B, no problem, but also from a person type O. Type O is a universal blood donor. Universal because it has no marking proteins, and blood of such person with blood of person with group blood type group O, it means it can be it can fit all other groups, all three other groups, A, B, and AB. There are some things related to blood type, and medicine is science cannot explain why it works, so somehow the traits are related. In particular, stomach acidity of the gastric juice is related to the blood type. People with O type blood, they have higher acidity of gastric juice, and they digest protein, animal protein, better than other types, especially people with group blood type A. They have reduced acidity of the gastric juice, and they don't digest very well the animal proteins. So at least they have to take care. And group B and AB are considered normal, so they can digest both animal proteins and vegetables and plant-based food both. There is some speculations why type O has higher acidity. Because type O is considered as very old blood type, very old group of blood, and then a long time ago our ancestors were eating mostly animal proteins and animal-based food, and this gave such just connection to the acidity of the gastric juice. And blood A evolved considered next when already there was grain available, and then such people with group A, blood group A, probably can benefit from vegetarian diet. But again, it is individually. Sometimes you have to decide. But for me personally, I have O type blood, and then I feel much better if I am on diet with animal based products. What is also interesting that carriers of blood group A, carriers of blood group O are genetically more resistant to diseases, to infections especially. And again, taking it personally, last 25 years I never was getting sick, even with the flu or some cold. I'm always healthy. I'm always in good health. But group A, AB, and B, they are more at risk of infections than type O, especially group A, because again, the acidity of the gastric juice is very important to kill bacteria, to kill microbes, which are coming with food to our stomach. And if group O has high acidity of the gastric juice, then we better protected ourselves. The people with such high acidity of the gastric juice, they are better protected from infections. Also, there is blood itself has a little bit different properties, so it is a little bit more alkalic for group A. For group O, have a little bit higher concentration of ammonia in blood, and ammonia is toxic substance. But okay, my body is already accustomed to this, but all the bacteria and some other microorganisms, they cannot survive presence of ammonia. Okay, as I said, rhesus factor means there is some protein which at the surface of the red blood cells, And monkey and rhesus monkey, especially in primates, they have these proteins at the surface of the erythrocytes, and rhesus negative have kind of pure blood. It has no this gene and no this protein at the surface of the erythrocytes. A rhesus gene with rhesus positive means it has a gene, it has protein. The body produces protein, special protein, to mark the surface of erythrocytes. So, and this rhesus gene is also dominant. So the only way to get rhesus negative blood, it is combination of rhesus negative blood of both parents. So if both parents are recessive, have this recessive gene of, absence of this gene from primates, then blood considered pure, and it has rhesus negative. So it has no gene from primates, no gene. But it's not a big advantage because there are many complications related to this. And blood type rhesus positive, of course, is much more common because it is dominant. Presence of this gene is dominant, so it is, of course, much more common. And but some areas in Europe are populated by people with high number of rhesus negative blood. Like in Spain, there are some areas in mountains and that Europeans with high number of these rhesus negative people. And Europeans in average have about 15% of rhesus negative people. 85% rhesus positive. In different countries is a little bit different, but about 15% are rhesus negative. So they have no this special gene. Meanwhile, sub-Saharan African population has very high rate of rhesus positive blood. It means only 1% of the Africans have rhesus negative blood, so they, all the rest population have this gene from primates gene. And East European communities have a little bit higher number of rhesus negative blood. It is about considered about 5%. 5% of population have rhesus negative blood, so it means they, this gene is absent in these people. In some countries, only few O negative, only few people with rhesus negative and O blood type are living. So it's combination of O negative is quite rare in some countries. For example, in Japan, it is only 0.15% of population have O negative blood. Indonesia 0.18, China 0.28. In Hong Kong, 0.32. So you see, it is quite rare. It is 1 to 300, sometimes even to 600. So one person with O negative to 600 of other people with, in population. And O negative is considered like pure blood, because pure blood means genes which are marking, produce proteins, marking proteins for rhesus factor and for group A and B, they are absent. And they are all recessive. Okay, how it is again, we can only speculate about why it appears so, why we have rhesus negative, rather why we have rhesus positive bloods, why we have group A and B and O, etc. So we just speculate about history, but what is known to science, it is that Neanderthals, which are considered, who are considered yet as our ancestors in school books, but it is not true actually. It is not true because it's already proven a long time ago, about 30 years ago. It was proven by scientists in Germany that number of chromosomes in Neanderthals is the same as number of chromosomes in other primates. It is 48. And Cro-Magnons, these were our ancestors, they have, like modern humans, 46 chromosomes. And by science, what we consider science, we cannot, so it is clear that spontaneous reduction in the number of chromosomes by 2 units is just impossible. This, such mutants would not survive. So it was, again, the origin of Cro-Magnons is absolutely miracles. Because we can trace Neanderthals, the evolution of origin of Neanderthals, about 500,000 years, so 500,000 years we can trace evolution of Neanderthals. But Cro-Magnons appeared in Europe about 50,000 years ago, and this appearance of these Cro-Magnons cannot be explained by evolution. It just appeared from thin air. And so probably, and but what is also interesting, we have some number of genes from Neanderthals. So there was some crossbreeding between Cro-Magnons and Neanderthals. Despite this different number of chromosomes, there is very little, but there is probability that that crossbreeding was possible, and some Europeans have a larger number of these genes from Neanderthals and some have fewer. So if we will compare the skull of Cro-Magnons and Neanderthals, we see that a skull of Neanderthals is larger and brain size was larger in Neanderthals, but it is more related to vision and to other senses. So these were really very animals very good for hunting, and but Cro-Magnons were more intellectual because you see the shape of the skull tells about high intellectual abilities of the brain, but not so much in that development of the senses. And again, it was proven that Neanderthals were all rhesus positive, the same like other primates, the same like monkey. They were rhesus positive, and Cro-Magnons were rhesus negative. So rhesus negative means they didn't have this gene from primates and Neanderthals, because Neanderthals developed by evolution from primates. Then they had this gene, rhesus gene. There is some also strange things that rhesus negative people have a greater oxygen capacity in the blood, and thus they are more can live at high altitude, like in mountains. Also, they can go diving. I am a diver myself, so I can stay a little bit longer. When I am diving, maybe up to 5 minutes. It used to be up to 5 minutes I can stay underwater. Again, as people with O negative blood, they are missing genes of type A, genes of type B, and missing this rhesus gene. That is quite strange. It is considered like pure blood, so it is no these additional genes. But again, as I said, there are some problems with this also. Positive, I mean, what is good for these people and for me personally, because I have O negative blood, it is that we have lower risk of respiratory infections. So our immune system are very active. But it means also problem that if I will get vaccine, my immune system will probably overreact and will kill me. So I better stay away from vaccination. But other people can be vaccinated with rhesus positive blood. It is in the A and B and AB group. It is probably okay. So it is quite special for me and for some people who have O negative blood. And again, what is again interesting, there is some kind of instability in psychics. So I mean, people are a little bit productive, overthinking. Their mind is overactive, overexcited always. I mean, I would say, and this gives also a positive and negative. And negative, it is like insomnia, difficult to sleep, but what is positive, it is that scientists, musicians, and athletes, and almost all physicists, they were rhesus negative. And I am doctor in physics originally, and then it is quite common for me to have rhesus negative and O type blood. Again, also not very much known fact that humans with rhesus negative blood live in average longer than with rhesus positive. It's actually easy to explain, because if you have fewer infections during the life, your immune system is stronger, so then you obviously can live longer. It's the average. What else? Rhesus negative humans can digest milk, raw cow milk, up to very old age. But meanwhile, also interesting that Neanderthals, they were carriers of a gene that prevents the digestion of milk, of sugar lactose, in the adulthood. So again, there is some connection to Neanderthals, that people who have more genes from Neanderthals, they cannot digest milk, and people who don't have this gene, then they digest milk quite well. And I can drink milk, no problem, any age, and have no problem with this. Meanwhile, pronounced Neanderthal phenotype can be found in some modern Europeans. As I said, some Europeans have more genes from Neanderthals, some have fewer, and we can see in appearance. So Neanderthals were used to have, they all extinct, disappeared, but appearance very special, and we can see some Europeans have such appearance which resembles Neanderthals, and Cro-Magnons were different, with especially skull was very much different. And we can see in some Europeans, especially Russians, very much Neanderthals, look like Neanderthals, look here, yes, you see. Okay, so this is actually problem with rhesus factor. So the availability of or absence of this gene has a problem, a serious problem. It means if mother type blood is rhesus negative and father of the child is positive, then it is actually a very, very bad story. Marriage should be avoided between rhesus negative female and rhesus positive male, as this can be fatal for the mother as well as for baby of such parents. This is again big complications, and in past people didn't know how to manage with this. Now we can suppress immune system of the mother, so that immune system of the mother will not react to the blood, rhesus positive blood of the child, of the fetus, and mother will survive. But again, this way of, to suppress activity of the immune system, we can do it now. But in past, it was there was no knowledge about this, and there were many people with rhesus negative blood were having this very, very big problem, because if a woman marry with rhesus negative blood marry man with rhesus positive, then she would not survive marriage. And this why royals and nobility, they try to avoid these complications because they somehow by selection they had a high number of this or mostly blood type rhesus negative, so they avoided mixing their bloodline with other commoners, with rhesus positive people. And these complications created so that there was a lot of interbreeding. In interbreeding, that means a lot of mutations, bad mutations were in this royal bloodline. Okay, we see that immune system of the mother may attack the fetus, can kill the fetus, and also if fetus is dead and mother is pregnant, mother also will die. So this was happening in past every time. Okay, this is all. You see that again this is quite simple question. So that we have type genes A and genes B responsible for gene A produce some protein, B produce another protein. Combination of these genes produce both proteins, and this is why we have 4 types of blood. So absence of these genes is O type blood, and we have also A, B, and combination of A, B, and we have rhesus positive, rhesus negative. And rhesus means presence of the genes from primates and from Neanderthals, and these are very common actually because it is dominant gene, and in many areas, many countries, rhesus negative blood is very rare, and it is again very yes, not very easy, not very good, because for example my sister, my parents, my mother and my father, they were O type blood and both rhesus negative, and my sister have both obviously the same blood, O type and negative, rhesus negative, and she married a man with combination of genes like OA, like OA, and first child was okay, but with next pregnancy there were big problems that fetus always was dying. There was miscarriage many times, miscarriage, and only after long years she got another child with O type blood, so combination was again OO. And she is lucky that our medicine was keeping her alive. So it was miscarriage, but she didn't die, because normally in past women who married a man with rhesus positive would be for sure dead. And this man, her husband, was rhesus negative, but he had blood type. He had such blood type which is combination of rhesus negative and rhesus positive, but blood was rhesus positive, but genetically it was splitted, so there was probability, 25% probability that they can get 50% probability that child will have rhesus negative and O type blood. And it was eventually it happened, but after very long years of complications. Okay, thank you for your time. Sorry about this personal information, because again, for me it is quite exciting to understand all these problems in our family, and and also some details why I prefer animal-based food, and why I feel much better on such diet and carnivore diet than other, because other people cannot stay in type A, they prefer vegetarian diet. It is okay, but again for me it's better animal-based diet. Also I have rhesus negative, it means also complications and higher risk to in the case of accident to die, because I cannot get blood from other people. Cannot get a transfusion of other blood. Okay, that's all. Thank you for your time.